Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and it's time for the video you guys have been waiting for. Oh my good word. So let's talk about foundation, because on Saturday you guys got a special ass video dedicated to the new Dior Skin Glow foundation. I did a full review of this. I will link that video up here. And guys, when I was shooting this video, I was so excited for so many reasons. One, Dior came out with a new foundation. Hello, where do I sign up? Number one. Number two, they expanded the shade range. So I talk a ton about that in that video. So if you're curious, you can go check that out. But the long and short of it is they introduced two new foundations. This one and the one we're going to be talking about today, which is a Forever foundation. Now, according to everything I can find and their website, which we're about to dive into, I believe this is a same formulation, new bottle, new shade range of the classic Dior Forever foundation, the one everybody loves. It is a cult classic. My bottle's empty. I love this stuff so much. Why did I save an empty bottle? Because I was always kind of hoping I could scrape the leftovers out of the bottom, if I'm being honest. But I will tell you, this is one of the most beautiful foundations I've ever used. The way it sits on the skin, melts into the skin, melts into the pores. However, the shade range, awful. Looked so bad. This was their lightest shade, which is so dark, and I think that's part of the reason they went through, they reformulated, they rebranded a little, and maybe Dior is coming around to this whole like, hey, a little something for everyone perhaps? Wouldn't that be nice? So we're going to take a look at that a little bit today. I have their newest light shade, which is 0N, and let's just go ahead and get into that. So I wanted to go ahead and give you guys some swatches to go off of from other foundations as well. So this is the one, again, we are looking at today. This is 0N in the new Forever foundation. This is 0N in the Skin Glow from Saturday's video. This is the lightest shade from the Catrice HD Liquid Full Cover, which I wear all the time. And then over here, I went ahead and threw up the original lightest shade from Dior, which is this one right here, the 010. Again, their original lightest shade. And as you can see, there is a big difference between that shade and this one. So hopefully we're diving in that direction. Now, from what I'm understanding, there's a little bit of differing information between the Dior website and the Nordstrom website. I am going strictly off of the Nordstrom website because that is where I purchased these. That is what I've been reading off of. That's where I've been getting all my info. So just to keep it all even, that is what I'm going off of. And according to the chart I found, they have a option that is the same as the original 0N, which is the original Forever over here. So if that's your perfect shade, if that works for you, they didn't get rid of it to my understanding. There is a perfect match to it. And then they did offer one lighter, which is again the one we're testing today. So on the Nordstrom website, this says that this is an iconic long-wearing foundation for a complexion that appears flawless and even with tightened pores. Now, if this wears the same as the original Dior, I completely agree, because girl, that is a flawless ass foundation. It is so beautiful. It says this is for anyone who yet again wants medium to full coverage and velvety matte finish skin. Great. What it does, Forever High Wear Perfecting Skin Caring Matte Foundation. What a name. Remains flawless for 24 hours in an instrument test on all 20 people. Okay, probably should expand that subject test. It creates a velvety finish on the skin, and then from there it's pretty much all about what's in it, and there's pansies and it's supposed to be great. I don't know, I'm not interested in the rest of that. You get one fluid ounce, it is $52, and I'm ready to put it on my face. So in the interest of doing that, I have already went ahead and primed and prepped my skin. I have the Tatcha Silk Canvas over here, the Peter Thomas Roth and the Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For on this side. Love it. Still two of my favorite primers, and I wanted to give them time. Let them settle into the skin. Y'all know the business. Plus, I used those when I primed for the other Dior foundation, so I'm trying to keep things similar, the same, you know, the situation. So, let's dive in to this Forever foundation. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so excited. Oh yes, queen, I love you, Dior. Guys, I had so many comments for this in the other video. So many of you were like, okay, where's the other Dior? Give me that original. I need to know if it's going to work for me. I have to know the tea. And just so you guys know as well, I will be going through and giving you probably in like a week to 2 weeks an updated video of these two foundations and like how I mix them, how I use them, if I liked them. Because I've been going through with the Skin Glow one, and I've used that a ton. I've been mixing it, playing with it, seeing what I like, what I don't like, how I like to use it, all of that. And so I'm going to be using both of them kind of the same way to get a feel for them. So if you're curious, let me know down below if that's a video you'd want to see, because I will make it if y'all want to see it. So this this is everything I had on my hand. So it was all, again, 4 to 5-ish pumps. I'm going to say this is like medium coverage at the moment. You can still see some of my stuff poking through. So you're getting about a straight medium coverage, which is pretty nice. I'm loving the application. I'm loving that nice matte finish. Everything is very consistent right now with the original formula. Now, in the interest of being a good little YouTuber, I am going to apply this with the number 101 blurring foundation brush from IT Cosmetics as well on the other side, just to check it out. I do this every time. I don't often love it, but you know, I'm open to things. I'm willing to see if it's good or not. Okay, so it's applying better than a lot of foundations with a brush. That's saying something. So I like that. It's not super patchy on my skin, which is very, very rare when applying with a brush on my textured skin. Normally it's like very textured very quickly, but I'm still not loving it. Like, I'm having a difficult time getting it to do what I want. So I'm going to switch back to the sponge, but it's not awful with a brush, so that's nice. It does still go on and apply very decent. Oh, but I just love this effect. Yes. Plus, there's something so therapeutic for me about pressing it into the skin. I don't know why, guys. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Get it all up in those nose pores. Yeah, fill those in. Get those gone, Dior. Okay, so here's the deal. This side over here has like what I would consider dried down, and it is pretty decently dry. I'm getting a little bit of transfer, but not a ton. Now, I do want to take a little hit more of this just to see if once it's dried over like this, if you can build it up or not. Some foundations you can, and it's not an issue. Other foundations, they will hit you. So I just want to see real quick if this is buildable or if you need to work in sections. Because I'm definitely someone that a lot of times I do have to build my foundation if I'm going for that full coverage. Oh, and that built very nicely. Huh. Okay. No issues. That kind of shocks me. I thought for sure we were going to have a problem there, Dior. Because you dried down a little bit quickly. All right, now we're going to grab some Tarte Shape Tape in Porcelain Beige. Okay, now I know you guys can probably not quite see it on camera, but this is oxidizing a decent amount. Like, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but it is oxidizing. Okay, so I am noticing as I blend out this last little patch right here under my eye that it's almost like that sticky kind of, my foundation is set, it doesn't want to blend to liquid right now kind of moment. It is a little bit different than that one. So I am seeing a little bit of a difference, but so far everything has blended out very nicely. Now I'm going to set my under eye using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in 100. This is the pressed powder, and I'm going to be using this little Morphe M173 brush, and I'm going to be dabbling that right onto the under eye. But first, girl, you know we about ready to bust out these creases because we got creases for days. Now for the rest of the face, I'm going to use this IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Jumbo Powder Brush. It's their number 3. It's giant. I love it. And this foundation is already very matte, so I want to make sure I go in with a light amount of powder. Otherwise, my face is going to be so pissed. So I'm just going to go in here, tap into this, and lightly dust it all over the face because I still do have normal to oily skin. So I have to set my face, but I don't want to set it too heavily. Otherwise, I look like a nightmare. So no thank you. All right, guys, so we are all set. We're happening. Things are going good in our lives. I'm going to run off, do the rest of my face, and give it some life, hopefully. And I will stop back on here and we're going to talk some more about what's going on and if it's looking good. Okay, guys, so I went ahead, I got the rest of my face on, and I have to be honest, I'm loving the way that this is settling into the skin. It's definitely not like completely settled in yet, but it's getting there, and I'm loving it. Truth be told, I might be liking it at this moment a little bit more than the Skin Glow foundation. Like, it's getting there for me, and I think it's just because this is settling down a little bit faster and a little nicer than that one did. And so I'm curious, and I'm obviously going to be wearing this throughout the day, so we'll see at the end, like, how did it wear, is it good, all of those good things. So I'm loving that. One thing I'm not obsessed with is the fact that it is in fact oxidizing. I had a feeling, and this is even with me blending it down my neck and then adding a little Shape Tape to like blend and fix the color, and it still has oxidized pretty pink on me, which the other one did as well. So something to note, if you are on the fair side like me, you probably will have to correct it in that respect with a concealer or something just to make it work. But overall, everything is settling in very nice. Everything blended beautifully on top of it. I haven't had any issues. And if you didn't watch yesterday's 2018 video, here's the thing. you can click it. I'll link it up here, but like half the products are on my face. So I'm currently wearing the Dior contour palette. This is what I went in with, this shade right here, to sculpt out my face. This shade in the crease, because hello, I was like, I'm not about ready to go grab me a palette and do this crazy eye look. Like, hello, no thank you, girlfriend. It is the first day of 2019. We are ringing it in with some easy breezy, beautiful Dior contour that should be on my face, and instead it's on my eyes, and I don't care about it. Second, I am wearing the Hourglass Blush Trio. I'm obsessed with this. I'm wearing this shade right over here, which is Mood Exposure. Wait a second. Mood Exposure. Don't I have that in one of the little blushes as well? I didn't even realize that. I think I have that in their individual. Guys, I love their blushes, so I had to use this because I'm like, hello, yes, please. And then for highlight, I went in with, oh, you guessed it, my Dior Face Glow palette right here. These two shades are all over the face, and then I have those two shades on my lids as well. And it was the quickest, the most simple eye look in the entire world. Literally took me like 10 seconds. It was so simple, and I love it. So these are my three face products. I set my face with the Urban Decay setting spray and the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I used my Essence Brighten Up powder. Like, this was such a run-of-the-mill day. I don't even know why I'm telling you all of this. Mascara was my Perversion Mascara, and lips is the Estée Lauder lipstick. See what I'm saying? All the favorites from that video have been like lingering on my vanity, and I'm like, well, I mean, it is a favorite, and before I know it, I've used them all. But this is in the shade 140 Naked City. I love this shade. I wear this all the time. I love that they have like this square point to them, and I just like get in there and I hang out with my lips. It's a good time. And then, is there anything else that I'm wearing that I'm forgetting? I don't think so. Guys, we're ready to go. We're ready to kick the day's ass and go make something of ourselves. So what I'm going to do, go do that. I'll stop back on. We're going to do a wear test, obviously. We're looking for, does this settle into the skin? Does it give me that classic Dior melding effect? That's number one. Number two, how is this on the matte side of things? Is it good? Is it not? What's the situation? That's number two. Number three, I found a little bit of a difference, and I want to check into this difference. So I went to the Nordstrom website, and I brought up, I actually took pictures. I brought up the old one, like the picture of it on the website, and it says in the description, like the title of it, is the Dior Skin Forever Perfecting Foundation Broad Spectrum SPF. The one for this foundation we're testing today is the Forever Wear High Perfection Skin Caring Matte Foundation with SPF 35. So there is a lot more description in this title. This foundation it's not like a new formula, but it seems like they're trying to rebrand it as a high wearing, long wearing, it's perfect, it's matte, it's all of these things. And none of those were in the original perfecting title for like the description of the product. So I'm going to be looking for those little key things throughout the day. Does it wear very well and like long throughout the day? Does it keep my face nice and velvety ass matte? What's going on? Like, what are the key things that I'm missing, and why am I missing them? That's what we're looking for in today's foundation. So I'm gonna go do my day, and we're gonna see how all this holds up. And I'm getting a toot. I don't know what this is, but like I'm feeling attitude-y. Girl, 2019 coming in with a toot. Yes. Okay. I will be right back. Haha. Guys, I'm excited. I don't know why I'm so awake right now. Whew, whew, need to calm down. Woo, yeah, get it. Okay, you guys, it is the end of the day, and I have some thoughts. Now, oddly enough, I'm going to start off by saying this has been on my face for like 10 and a half to 11 hours, which is so bizarre because that's almost verbatim the same amount of time that I wore the other one for, and I really loved it because it gave me a nice side-by-side comparison of that one, how it wore, how it broke apart, what it did, and then today wearing this one throughout the day, and it just gave me a really good feel for how this one wore next to that one for the same amount of time. Now, I am going to dive into that here a little bit, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that formulation, the difference, what this one did versus what that one did. But my main concern / question when I got off of camera this morning was I wanted to know, is this supposed to replace what we already came to know and love with the other Forever foundation, or is this supposed to be like its own new thing? And I don't know if I previously said it in this morning's clip or not, but I was only taking all of my information from the Nordstrom website because I wanted to keep it all consistent. I wanted to have everything from one place so it was traceable and everyone could kind of go back to that for reference. However, my answer wasn't there, and it was really starting to bug me. So I went to the Dior website, which I think if I'm going to go anywhere, that would be the right place to be. And I was doing some digging, and I did stumble upon this little freaking chart, which is so handy. And it does confirm that this is a new formulation of the same foundation. And they actually have a side-by-side chart right here where they show you all the perks of the old one and then what the new one is supposed to do. So for example, the old one was supposed to have 16 hours of wear. This one can have 24. Now they're both medium to full coverage and a natural matte finish. However, this new formulation is also available in that skin glow finish. The other one was pore refining. This one is supposed to be pore refining, protection against environmental aggressions, and long-lasting comfort. The other one had 24 shades. This one, weird, has 28 shades, but then they wrote upgraded skin affinity, which to me says, hey, we only upped 4 shades, but we broadened those 4 shades, which is fantastic, because I'm really happy that they're like kind of acknowledging, even without like saying it, they know their shade range was shit and they're trying to make it better. So I'm very happy about that. And overall, I just found this little chart right here to be super helpful. So what I'm going to do is I will actually leave link down below the Nordstrom website, which is where I purchased everything just to keep it on an even keel. And then I will also link for you guys this Dior website so you can see everything I'm seeing as far as the information and all of that. You can take it straight from Dior. You can also purchase it from them. The prices and everything are the same, but if you're wanting to, you know, I just like to keep it equal. That way you guys know where I bought it from, but also where the information is coming from. That way everything is linked and you guys can find your info if you need it. Now, another thing that was super helpful, if you're looking at the differences between the two foundations, the Skin Glow versus the regular Forever, they have a little chart here as well for that. And it actually shows the difference in her face if she's wearing Forever versus the Forever Glow. So there are a lot of little differences on the Dior website that are not on the Nordstrom website that I think are very, very helpful. Now, as far as myself personally, I can obviously only talk about the way that it wore for me. I'm going to tell you, first of all, it photographed stunningly. I'm telling you, I went to the window to like take a light, and sometimes I'll notice like my pores are a little bit more emphasized if I get blasted with too much light or it's a little gray or whatever the case is. No, this photographed so beautifully in every light. It was just so like, it bounced the light back in the most flattering way. I can't even express to you how stunning it looked on my skin in photographs, number one. Now, as far as the pore refinement goes, okay, I'm not noticing anything hugely different from the last one to this one. I think I'm still getting that nice tightened pore effect. I think it's still smoothing out over the skin and looking stunning. I do think this is a product that if you play with it, you'll have to kind of get your own feel for the coverage, the luminosity, and overall like every little piece of it to build it to the way you want it. And I say that to make sense of, I think that the pores could have looked better had I used a little less foundation, because I think I had to put on a little more because I was trying to build it up and see how it would work. But if I were to do it again, I would use a little less coverage, a little less product, but I think that would open up even a little bit more smoothing on my face. Because a lot of times if you go in with less product, you'll get a smoother, more seamless application because it's closer to the skin and it's only one layer versus multiple layers built up. So that right there was kind of my first, like, it's a little different, number one. Number two, as far as wearing on my normal to oily skin, I'm thinking it wore very similar to the other one. This one I don't think wore, how do I say this? This one didn't wear any better, quote unquote, or worse than the Skin Glow did. However, I think it wore a little more consistent. Now, I will be working with this one again throughout the next couple of weeks, and I will give you an update. But what I did notice is that when I wore the Skin Glow one in the video that you guys saw, it wore very nicely throughout the day. I was super impressed. It was glowy. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful by the end of a really long day. However, when I wore it the next couple of times, because I've worn that foundation a few times, I noticed that it didn't wear the same with different powders, and it didn't wear the same if I set it this way or that way, or if I did this or if I applied it this way versus that way. Like, it did change the wearability of the foundation substantially based on how I paired it with what. And I do feel like that is something I very specifically want to check with this foundation a little bit more, because I know that with the original Dior, I could work with it no matter what. It didn't matter the powder, how I applied it, nothing changed the way that it wore on my face. That was what made it so great for me. That's why it was such a good mix in. I knew that I could count on it for these certain things, and it wasn't a problem. So I do want to play around with that. As of right now, I'm really torn on which one I like like better. And I don't think it's so much that they are like so different that I would like, oh wow, this one's way different than this one. I think it has a lot to do with that immediate application and how it sits on your skin at first glance. Because the Skin Glow option was more beautiful from the start when I first put it on, but then when I set it, it wasn't as beautiful. This one wasn't as beautiful when I first applied it, but then when I set it and put my other stuff on it, it looked seamless. So I think it really does all depend on like your skin type in that first moment. As far as how this one wore throughout the day, I can tell you it lasted beautifully. It's just now starting to break up, pretty similar to how the other one did. Now it is a matte finish, so it stayed off the oils a lot better. I have a lot less oil on my nose after the same amount of time as the other one. Like I haven't blotted at all today, and the only place that I'm oily is really like on the top of my nose. I'm not noticing a ton of oil around here or around here. This one also didn't break up as bad around my smile lines, on my chin, or on my upper lip as the other one did. And a lot of that, when you have normal to oily or oily skin, which is what I have, that makes a lot of sense, because when you have oil that's coming out of your face, it's mixing with the glowy factor of that foundation, and that can impact the way that the oils in the foundation sit on your skin. Meaning the oils in the foundation fought the oils on my face in certain areas, and it broke apart a little bit faster. So that doesn't surprise me at all, because this one doesn't have that glow effect, so there's nothing fighting it in those areas. So that's not weird. Overall though, do I think that this is a very similar option for the original Forever? Yes, I do. I think that both formulas are a very, very nice counterpart to that foundation, and the best way that I can think to describe it, I was trying to think of this all day long, like they just divorced that foundation, cut it down the middle, and they said, okay, matte over here, hydrating over here, shade range over here, shade range over here. Like they tried to be very segmented with each area, and I love that, because I think they took and they disassembled one very successful foundation with a very successful formula, and they did their best to make it something that would work for double the amount of people. Now, whether that's with the shade range, the finish, or the combination of the two, this new foundation and the way that they have this working will be so much better suited for literally everyone, because the other one was great. It was a great formula. I have nothing against it. I would still purchase it. It is amazing. But the reality is that I could not make it hardly work for me by itself with my skin tone, because it was so fair. So I had an issue on the skin tone side, whereas a lot of other people had an issue with the mattified side, and the skin tone was fine. So I love what they did. I love that they're rebranding and that they're coming out with ways to not only make it better and more wearable, but they're really interested in making it work for more people, which I think is huge, because Dior has caught a lot of crap for this. So I'm really happy to see this happen. Now, I'm also going to tell you that they both did oxidize on my skin quite a bit. This one continued to oxidize throughout the day. You probably can't see it a ton right now, just because the lighting in here isn't such that you'd be able to, but it oxidized a lot, like very pink, which I thought was kind of weird, and a little bit darker. So is it something that I can fix and correct with, like, again, other concealers or foundations, whatnot? Yes, I can, and I would do it. Like, that to me, this foundation, the Skin Glow and this one, are worth working with and trying to develop how I would want to use them. And I've talked about this a lot on my channel. I think there's a lot to be said for having a foundation that is worth working with to make it work for you. That was a lot of words, and I hope that they all made sense, but I think it's just a lot. It's kind of like, okay, you find that guy. I keep going back to guys. I don't know what to tell you, but it's kind of like you find that guy, and like, is he worth dealing with the fact that he leaves that damn wet towel at the foot of the bed, even though you've told him 100 times to put that damn thing in the washer, and he will not put it in the washer? It's kind of like that. Like, is it worth picking up that towel every damn day and making it work with this man, even though he just can't figure it out? Yeah, it is. This is that moment where it's worth it. I think these are both stellar, beautiful formulas that I definitely look forward to working with. Hell, who knows? Maybe I mix them with each other. I don't know. Now, at the end of all my videos, I always like to throw out there how I would make this better, or if there was anything I think I could do to improve it, and what my next steps are. So I think for me, my first next step would be adding a little bit more of a bright or my skin toned concealer to like the neck area, or mixing this with another foundation that would help correct it when it oxidized. That would be key, number one. Number two, I think it would be super handy to mix this with something that had just a touch more coverage, like a straight pigment kind of of foundation just to give me a little bit more coverage over the cheeks on first application so I don't need to build it up. But honestly, you guys, other than that, I don't have a ton to say about this foundation. I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's beautiful, and for how long it's been sitting on my skin, I think it photographs well. It looks beautiful in the light. If you are nervous about purchasing these, whether it's like the wearability page, which one do you like better, and you guys know me, you know my products, you know my skin type and what foundations I typically love, go ahead and you can wait for a couple of weeks and I will do an updated video. You guys can let me know down below if you're up for that, and I will update you and tell you this is for sure what I like, this is for sure what I don't like, and I can kind of better assist you on that. But for getting this started, I really did want to sit down with both foundations, give them both a video just so we could dive into it, because I knew this was going to be a video that everyone would want to see, and I wanted to be out there to give it a go, and I didn't just want to be one of those people that was like, oh, it's such a great foundation, I love it, and like not give you any details. Because honestly, guys, like this is a $52 foundation. It is not cheap, and I don't want you guys to ever have to like rush into something and purchase it just because you're curious and because my little butt didn't have the content for you. So I wanted to put this out and do it as quickly as I could. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we are going to table these. You know a lot of my thoughts right now. I will link all the info I have for you down below. So if you want to make a decision now, you can, or you can wait to hear back from me again in a couple of weeks, and I will be wearing these and mixing them religiously for the next couple of weeks to try and get that feel, see what I like, see what I don't like, and I will bop back on then with hopefully some more thoughts and a little bit more definitive information for you. But until then, you guys, that is the end of this video. I hope that you love it. I hope that it was super, super helpful for you. I know that I love filming foundation reviews, and I thought, what a better way to go into 2019, foundation review, product favorites of 2018, foundation review. Like, is there a better sandwich? No, there is not. So you guys can let me know all of your thoughts if you love this and everything down below. And I just want to thank you guys again so much for watching. And if you don't follow me on my other social medias, you should definitely do that as well. They are linked down below. I've really been stepping up my game on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook. So those are all linked down there. I'm on Instagram and Insta Stories the most if you wanted to pick just one platform, but they're all linked down there so you can make that decision. And you can also subscribe because, girl, I put up new videos 5 days a week and I just love hanging out with you guys. So we do a ton of makeup favorites, hate-its, loves, product try-ons, everything you can imagine, foundation reviews, palette reviews, get ready with me's. It's been a while. It's like we have every type of video over here, so definitely subscribe. My videos go up bright and early, anytime between 6 and 7 a.m. Northern Michigan time, which is bright ass early in the morning, guys. So let me know, again, if there's anything you ever want to see down below, feel free to give me a little shout and let me know what you guys want. And I will talk to you guys all later. I hope you have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, you asshole. You are not getting on my sweater. I do not think so, homegirl. And if I can squeeze out a droplet of the other Dior. Oh my God, I did. Oh my God, did I just squirt it on my sweater? And I am going to start dibbly-dabbling this onto my face. Okay, rude. Mic check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. I mean, I think I'm a vision. This is a vision, right? I'm the vision of sex appeal. I'll stop back on, and we're gonna see how all this held up. Hello, girl is covered in snow. I'm looking all kinds of crazy. Okay, you guys, it is the end of the day, and when I say the end of the day, I'm now at the end of all my videos, I always stay. No, I don't. I leave. And so, ooh. Yes, light pasty queen. Guys, this is like kind of my color. Wait. Oh, yes, pasty. That is my girl. Okay, 0N coming through from Dior.